What's going on, my broskies? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. The new PKA season is finally here, and it's going to be introducing a brand new free-to-play Luffy. This Luffy's actually pretty good. At face value, I was pretty impressed at what this character is capable of doing. Remember that the PKA units from this point forward are going to be the new treasure map characters, so you pick up the character during PKA, and then you can super evolve them by playing the treasure map. So this character, Luffy, he's already pretty good, and he's going to be getting even better when that treasure map does come out, which I'm pretty excited about, actually. So anyways, we're going to be jumping into this one. We're at level 60 right now, and as you guys know, the way that I usually do PKA is that I get to level 80 and I consistently will just stay at level 80 until I get all of my total rewards. Once I do that, I will be going ahead and continuing on past level 100. So, you know, once we hit the level 80 mark, you probably won't see another video from me for a while until I've completed all my rewards, and then we can go ahead and move on past that point. But in this video, I'm going to ideally have two different teams for you guys, and I'll be showcasing the full playthrough for this particular run, and then we'll go through another team just showing the final boss fight, because I've got like a team that doesn't have the new units, and I've got another team that has one of the new rare recruits, which I was luckily enough able to pull during my Sugofest video yesterday. So for this map here, I think, well, I still want to go ahead and pick up as many sake bottles as possible, so that eventually, once I have collected all of my total rewards, I will be able to, you know, bounce all the way up to level 100 really quickly. So that's my goal, usually, is to pick up a bunch of sake early, so that once I have completed all of my total rewards, we can just go ahead and continue on from that point. So here we have the Uta mini-boss fight. I like to keep these mini-bosses at relatively low levels. I'm just keeping this one at level 29 here. And the team that I am using just to go ahead and auto-clear it is going to be this one here. I'm just using just the highest amount of boosters that I can. And because it's such a low PKA level, that it's not really going to be that difficult to get through. So I'm just going to order this, and we'll be back once it is complete. So by completing that boss there, we actually get a pretty decent amount of drops, because we are using a couple of decent characters on that point booster list there, including having one of those rare recruits, which definitely helps out. The rare recruit that I did get, being the Okiku and Otoko, is actually a really useful character in this PKA as well. So we'll go through that when we look at the secondary team, which we're not going to be covering in this particular video here. So we're going to go ahead and move on, and we are not going to land on any of those favorites boxes for a while. We actually could land on the Pirate Rumble flag, which I could definitely do. That's 2 Elder Turtles. You don't see 2 Elder Turtles in a box that often, so we'll go ahead and pick that up. We're going to skip the PvP match for now, because it's just going to take too much time out of the video, and I don't really care about it too much, but typically I do challenge those, unless if there is something really cool along the way that I can collect. We'll go ahead and pick up some more tangerines, and then we'll go ahead and hopefully get a sake bottle from the favorites box. We do not. I guess I'll just pick up more tangerines, why not? And then we can go ahead and reach the Brook. So this time we're going to be challenging level 64, and let's go ahead and go through the team that I have for you guys today. So this is the team that we have here, and it's going to be using double Stampede Luffy with his super evolution. Now we are using a non-boosted character here, which is going to be the 6+ Kuzan. You do not need it to be level limit broken or anything, but just having the Kuzan is really nice, because he does extend the duration of attack on all boosts, as you guys will see a little bit later on in this little clip here. But let's go ahead and run it and see how it performs. So the really cool thing about Stampede Luffy is that he does give so much special cooldown to your crew, and it is going to be exceptional for allowing your characters just to be used, and even using like a non-boosted character. If you have the character to be one of those, you know, strength decks or side characters that is fighter or powerhouse, they just get so much cooldown. Unfortunately, in this case, Kuzan is neither of those, so it's really not going to matter too much for us. But we don't really need to do that much stalling anyways, because as long as Kuzan is at a 4-turn cooldown before we leave stage 2, that is going to be really good for us. So realistically, at this point here, we actually can move on without too many issues, because there is no special reverse in this content, which is really, really nice for us. So we're just going to go ahead and move on without too much care in the world here. And plus, the other thing is that Stampede Luffy doesn't even boost quick characters, but this is going to be a really nice team to use for clearing stages, you know, level 60 to 79. In that range, you'll be good. Once you reach level 80, the content gets a little bit more difficult. And I mean, just something about this content is out of all the PKAs so far, this one I think is going to be the most difficult to get through, because not only are just not a lot of people going to be pulling for the new units, like the new Momo and the Hiyori, so you're not going to find too many of those as friend captains, but the gimmicks are just really weird once you get to level 100, and you just have to really build stupid teams for this. But anyways, let's have a look at stage 3, which is going to be this Chopper. So at level 60, he does have 2 turns of resilience, which this is why we have the Brook on the team. Brook's special ability will allow us to remove resilience so long as we have a Luffy on the crew, and he also does increase damage taken, he removes damage threshold. He is just an absolutely exceptional character. We don't really need to use too many other specials here. I actually will go ahead and use a Luffy special, because the thing about it is that we don't really need the Luffy special for the next stage anyway, because our own Captain Luffy is going to be the character that we want all the damage to come from. And, I mean, this is actually going to be a little bit funny, because I think that if we use the Luffy special, I think it actually is going to knock out this enemy Luffy here, which means that we can't actually apply the things that we want to do against this boss. He does have the increased defense, which actually works in our favor here. And the Kuzan is not ready, which is not great, because we actually killed the enemy in the previous stage. So that actually makes things a little bit more tricky, that's for damn sure. Normally, Kuzan would be ready here. We would use Luffy, and then we could use Kuzan to extend the duration of Luffy's attack and all boost. But because he isn't ready, and we have no cooldown reduction, that makes things a little bit more tricky for us. So I think I actually am just going to stall 1 turn. I hope he doesn't do anything too bad here. I have no idea what he could possibly do. What does he do? He gives us hunger. Oh, that is just lovely. And we have, well, we do have ways to get around that, which is fine. So we're going to go ahead and use the Luffy special here. So as I said, normally you would have your Kuzan be ready, so you don't actually have to do that 1 turn of stall. So that was a little bit of an error on my part. But Luffy here has just a really cool effect, and this is with level limit break as well. You don't really need him to have level limit break, but if you have him with level limit break and limit break expansion and stuff, like, he's just exceptional. And the main whole reason why we're doing this is because of what occurs on the final stage, and this is really, really frustrating. You do see that if you do a damage dealing special to this Luffy on stage 4, he will inflict some damage and also inflict the pain debuff, which I believe every special we launch for this 1 turn, we get given 5,000 damage, which is obviously pretty annoying. Let's go ahead and use the Kuzan special now, which is going to give us the 3-turn buff, which is going to be really, really nice. The damage is going to be inflicted to us again, which is pretty annoying, but we are also going to be having the hunger, so we need to consume 1 of these recovery slots. As I said, normally that would not be an issue, but let's go ahead and eat 1 of these recovery slots, and then we can just kill very comfortably with Luffy without too many issues. Boom, there we go. Another thing that I forgot to mention is we probably should have used the Jack special, which actually sets the enemy's defense to 0. That is also kind of important, and that is not a damage dealing special. So we're mixing things up a little bit here, but it's not really too bad because it is the earlier levels. The enemy doesn't do that much damage, but of course if you do make mistakes in later levels of the PKA, that's where things go wrong. You do see that Brook has a mention there where if you activate any attack boosting effect, he's going to interrupt. And what he does is that he will remove your beneficial effects on your side of the crew. So you don't want to activate any attack boosts against this stage because he just makes you pay for it, which is very, very frustrating. Which is why we've had Luffy and activated in the previous stage use Kuzan to extend it. He does have damage threshold, which is why we have the Brook special once again. So Brook, as we mentioned, will remove damage threshold. He does have full immunity except for delay, so if you have a delayed conditional boost, you can actually proc that against this stage, which is really cool. Now, this Brook actually has another debuff here. Reduces damage taken from certain slots. So if you have a type slot, he will make it so that he actually takes less damage from it. I'm not 100% sure on what that multiplier is. It's not stated anywhere in the game. This is just a random debuff they decided to implement into the game. It's very, very bizarre. We can go ahead and use the special here of Sanji. So Sanji here will remove the barrier because we have a Luffy character. We also get the chain boundary as well, which is really good for us. So that is going to be giving us a lot of additional damage. Now, normally on this stage, because we took 2 turns to kill stage 4, the chain attack down would actually still be activated, which makes Sanji even better here. And obviously, you would have activated Jack in the previous stage. But this attack down that's given to your crew, it's actually given to all of your crewmates except for your captain. So your captain, the top right character, is not inflicted by this attack down. So it's really strange, but this is why Luffy's so good for this, because we're just going to do so much damage with Luffy himself. And like, yeah, it's not like the greatest team in the world. He does a decent amount of damage, and this will allow you to kill up until level 79, but once level 79 concludes, you are going to have to shift your team up. However, the next team that I'll show in this video will actually allow you to kill past that level 79 threshold, but it is using one of the new rare recruits. But of course, as things progress over the next couple of days, I'll be bringing you guys a couple different teams to have a look and just killing, you know, level 80 onwards, and we'll go from there. But there we go. That's just a full playthrough here using Stampede Luffy to kill up to level 79. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this one. I'll leave you guys with the rest of this, and we'll pick things up once we have a look at the secondary team of the video, as I said, utilizing one of the other new rare recruit characters. So jumping into the secondary team that I have for you guys in this video today, as I mentioned, we're going to be using the new Okiku character, and the supports on this team do seem like overkill, but the reason why I have built the team the way that I have is that this actually will kill levels 80 and above, so this will actually kill up to level 99. Of course, once you reach level 100, the gimmicks will change once again, so this team will not work past level 99, but this is a team that you guys may want to consider if you were lucky enough to, you know, get your hands on this Okiku, of course, because she's actually really good. For Battle 3, you have to deal with some additional gimmicks that occur after level 60, including a barrier, which this Okiku character can actually remove for us, which is really nice, as well as additional attack down and stuff. And we want to actually use one of the quick Uta specials on the final stage for her amazing chain boosting effect. So we've actually got an attack down reducing support attached to the Brook on this team, which is really useful. And that also, with the Okiku double special, allows us to use her special again on the final stage to remove barriers again, because there is another barrier that will eventually occur on the final stage, so she helps us remove that, which is of course very, very good for us. And there's also a lot of bind that occurs on level 80 as well for the top row, so we've got a couple of supports removing bind, as well as sockets of course will help us remove that. But this is a really strong team, of course, not really good in terms of drops. Of course, if you have the new units you get way more, but it's actually pretty solid in what I'll be using to farm level 80, at least for now. But that's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.